Welcome back to the Home and Away podcast. I'm joined today by my brother and co-host Caleb. I'm Jacob, and we have a guest today, Mr. Spencer Reaves. Spencer, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good, boys. It's good to see both of y'all together again.
Man, it's good to see
Sure.
you, dude. It's been a little minute since this summer.
That's right.
So recently, well, you just got back, what, a couple
Couple
hours ago,
hours.
2 hours
Yeah,
ago?
yeah, a couple hours.
You went on a little trip. Over here in Europe. There's this thing called national team break, where a lot of guys go play for their respective countries' national teams and such. And most leagues take like a week off of playing games, and usually you get some time off. Not everywhere we're so generous with the time off, but Spence, you got a week off, and I heard you went on a little trip. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, man, it was cool. I mean, being on this new team, we've like 3 months straight out of the gate. I mean, no days off, like maybe a day off to travel, like in between
Mm-hmm.
in between games, different countries, stuff like that. So me and a teammate just decided to like we get 5 days, we're gonna go somewhere and do something and kind of get away from everything for a little bit because it's just been so much so far. Um, we went and spent 2 days in London, and then we flew from London to Rome, Italy, and had 2 days there and left this morning and just got home. So it was, man, it's a good time. And I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but like I don't even travel that much in the States because it's so expensive. But if you actually get to Europe, it's so cheap how like it's so crazy how cheap you can fly around like Europe. I think I spent 30 one ways was like less than 300 euros, and that's expensive for being over here.
Yeah,
The first two flights we had were 40 euros a piece.
yeah,
That's
you might get
So
crazy.
like one flight from St. Louis to New York, maybe for like 300 or something like that.
yeah.
I don't even know. Maybe not even.
So
But the thing that's expensive is getting over to Europe. That flight,
man, that's why
that flight's
people if
definitely
if they're gonna do it like and able to have the time like
got to
you
see a
need
lot.
multiple weeks like and then just plan the whole thing. You can get it for like I said 20 euros to 50 euros a flight or
Yeah,
even trains and stuff like that. It's all connected. So yeah, it was good to get away for a little while. And yeah, I've never been to England or Italy, so that's like two more countries you can just like mark off the list.
You hit some
for
fish and
sure.
chips while you're in England.
Nah, I didn't actually. We didn't we hit this place that was famous for like their cuts of meat the first night, and then the second night we just did something chill like kind of early and did some like all you can eat sushi spot. We were just trying to find like
Ooh.
we were trying to find like little holes in the wall and like just you don't want to go we're not about to go spend like I mean we're not big balling out here. We're not about to go spend
First vision,
a
Germany,
couple.
BBL, man. You
Yeah,
think,
BBL, what you mean?
Nah,
What you
nah,
mean?
bro. If I look down, I had to spend $100 each on a meal. Ooh,
you ain't
that
doing
that
it, huh?
hurts.
Not going for it.
Nope.
What was the best? What was the coolest thing you saw on the trip?
Man, I don't know. I mean, we were definitely. I mean, we kept saying it every time. Like we were tourists. Like I
Hmm.
think we did the math, and we ended up walking 30 miles in the 4 days. Just, I mean, we would take a taxi maybe there and then walk back, see all the things on the way back. But like I thought the coolest thing, like I enjoyed Italy more, like seeing the old Colosseums and like the architecture of the old buildings that have been there for thousands of years. Like it was insane to see that stuff like still standing and just kind of recognizing how old all that stuff actually is was super cool.
Right. Like stuff over there is there's stuff standing that's been there longer than like the United States was even thought of being a country. So it's
Way
so
more.
crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Longer than Columbus, even, and not even Columbus. I guess whoever. There's some claims that he didn't discover America, but like before anybody from Europe even
Hey,
discovered America,
hey,
like
let's get one thing straight, bro. There's people living in America before Columbus got here, bro.
I know, but no, but I'm saying Europeans. There wasn't Europeans living here. I said
Yeah.
Right,
European.
right, right.
Yeah. No, I mean we went to the Colosseum, we went to the Vatican, toured all that, like Sistine Chapel. Like that stuff is just that play. I mean, when we went to in the Vatican, it's just like it's a whole nother country inside of Rome, like they counted as a country, and the architecture and the all the stuff that they have just showed off. It took us a couple hours to walk through it, and we walked fast. Like we didn't go with a group. It took us like 2 hours, and we were moving along pretty well, looking at stuff. But there's a lot of cool stuff to see.
But I think the biggest thing about that is just the fact that you're able to do that. Like, if you weren't over here playing ball, like you probably would never have the opportunity. Like, I don't. You might do it, but you might not even think of it. You might just go on a regular vacation to like Florida or something. Like, if you were still living in Arkansas or whatever, living in the States. Like, so I just think it's like every once in a while you get an opportunity to do something pretty special like that. See some things that not a lot of people get to see from where we're from. Especially being from a smaller town, and makes you a little
Yeah.
grateful for having that opportunity.
Oh, for sure. Like, I mean, with me and I went with one of the teammates, Amir Bell, played at Princeton. And we talked about how much easier it was to travel around. Like we talked about all the cities last night, I think it was, before we went to dinner, like how many cities in the US we haven't seen, because it's even harder to travel in the US, but it's like so cool that, we get to, you and I get to play basketball for our job, and we don't work the regular hours. So we get opportunities to go see really cool things that, like, especially like you said, people that like where I'm from, they don't ever get to see in their entire life. Like they don't even get out of Arkansas. So it's actually really cool. And it's like super blessed. You're super blessed to be able to go do that kind of stuff.
Talk about for me like what it's like to go from like that small town though. Like I mean, since I've known you and Cobb's known you obviously a couple of years more than me, but you never seemed like someone who was going to just stay in Arkansas forever. But I know even from our small town, and yours smaller than ours, like people don't really leave. What was in you early that like made you want to hopefully be able to like travel the world and kind of see different things and do other things?
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people, like you said, like people might graduate high school and then it's like, hey, we're staying in this small little town for the rest of our lives. Like I think I had 75 kids in my class, and probably three or four of them went more than like an hour and a half away from home to even go to college. Like, and that's even like you can even count in state for that. But it was always like I grew up in the small town. It's a super country, farms, cows, everything like that. I live on a farm, but that was never like what I wanted to do. I really wanted to see the world, and like I had an offer. Like I didn't have many offers coming out of high school, but like the one that I did have was like an NAIA school, 15 minutes from my house. I was like, I cannot stay here. Like I can't be that close to home. So my freshman year, I went out like 10 hours away from home, and I've always, I'm a social guy, so I can kind of meet new people and get along in about any crowd. But it was just about getting away from, typical, hey, graduate from here, maybe go to college and then get stuck, even in the state or in the town that you're in.
For sure. And then let's rewind a little bit to your high school career and what that was like, being able to, play with your brother, win a couple state championships and stuff like that. I mean, overall, you had a pretty cool high school experience, I would say. I mean, being able to win two state titles, correct? And both
Yeah,
of those
yeah.
were with Austin. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what did that mean to you? Like you're probably one of the most competitive people that I know that I'm friends with. So like I know that
Yeah.
you probably wanted that bad. And what was that like whenever that came to fruition?
High school, I always say, like looking back, because you don't know when you're going through it. Like you're just enjoying it, you're playing, you're doing, you're, like I said, super competitive, want to win all the time. Like all the people on this right now are super competitive and like, love to win. High school was cool because I've always said, even like going, we played college together for 3 years. Like high school might have been the most fun basketball because it was just like dudes you grew up with since you were, 3, 4, 5 years old. All
Hmm.
you know each other. You're always hanging out, and then it's just like, hey, we come to the gym, come to practice, and it's like, hey, we're gonna go try to win every single game. Doesn't matter anything else. And we were lucky because we had, at small schools, you know how it is. Like you have to have talent to be good at a small school. You don't have so many kids to choose from. So we were lucky in that sense that we had the talent we did at our high school. So it was super cool. 2 state championships. you know, some people don't win them, and you're lucky to get them at whatever classification, whatever it is. So super cool.
And then to have all this success like in high school the way that you did, I mean, and then I'm assuming you had some success as well in like the summer basketball tournaments or whatever. But then to have really no offers coming out of high school, like essentially like maybe one from what was it, Lion, and that was really like the only one. I mean, how did that make you feel? Like, did it make you feel overlooked, or were you just like, okay, like I'm like bound to prove some people wrong here?
Well, it was weird because like you know how I play, and it changed in college for me, but like the summer style is just not me. Like now,
Yeah.
I mean, you can just play, and it just I got to a point where it was like I felt more comfortable in that situation. But like I wasn't great in the summer, and everyone thought since I was playing like superior or not superior, like way less athleticism, way less talent. Like it's true, that's what it is. But they thought like I wasn't going to be able to be effective in the college game when there's athletes all over the floor. I've heard that from many coaches. I remember I had the first school that ever offered me after my junior year was a Division I school, and then I got an offer and then never heard from them again. And it was like, do I still have the offer? Do I not? Do I?
Yeah.
So yeah, I just felt overlooked. Like I was gonna keep working because I just enjoyed competing and I enjoyed, winning basketball games, winning state championships, stuff like that. So, it was kind of like a chip on the shoulder because I feel like even to this day, like you're always kind of overlooked every step you take in the basketball world. Like I feel like I've been overlooked in every step and just kind of pushes you to work harder and reach for those goals that you have for yourself.
And then
And
did
then what?
this injury? Go ahead, Caleb.
Go ahead. Okay. What point from there? Like, obviously, like you said, NAIA school, and then you end up in North Carolina, correct? At
South Carolina, yeah,
South
it
Carolina,
was
North
North
Greenville,
Greenville, yeah.
right? How at what point do you end up there? Like, how do you get in touch with Coach Williams and end up out there? I know you guys have amazing relationship now, but like, how did all that come about?
Yeah, man, it was crazy because like I want to say it was, he had saw me in a tournament in Atlanta. Like he tells me this story, all the time too. We talk often. And he was an assistant down there now, down there then, and like he said it was like, and you have to have so much respect for guys that are good at recruiting at like lower levels, like division, low level Division II or NAIA stuff like that, to be able to see some talent and be like, apparently it was like an 8 a.m. game on a Saturday or Sunday. Walking in, nobody wants to be there, and I don't even think I had a good game. Like said he could just tell, and just started getting, how Coach Williams is. Like he's a loving guy. And if he believes in you, I mean, he'll go to the end of the earth for you. And I mean, he called me. I swear to you, and I was still holding out, for other offers, like even Division IIs in Arkansas that were calling, but it was like, well, maybe we'll put him like our third or fourth guy on our list in case something falls through. This man's calling me every single day just to chat it up for 30, 45 minutes, just to talk about the day, talk about hoops, talk about everything. Yeah, like I said, y'all know how he is. But yeah, it was just, I think I got my offer from them. I went out right before my senior season started. They flew me out for an official visit and then got home, and that was like November. And I don't think I committed until like July or June, like super, super late because I
Like
was
the
just
summer
waiting.
before your freshman year of college?
Yeah, it was like, and
Wow.
it was so cool for him because he would always call me and he's just like, how coaches are, like they'll press you crazy. Hey, we need to know something by March 25th. He was like, you know what, you're our number one priority. He's like, however long it takes you to make your decision, we're gonna ride with you no matter what. And I was like,
Crazy.
I just totally respected that. Like, and at the end of the day, like I went out to North Greenville for that man, like for the way our relationship built for those, 5, 6 months. Like I went out to 10 hours from home as a 18, 19-year-old kid for that man.
I
It's
will
really
say, like,
wild because
I don't
go
want to.
ahead.
I don't mean to get us off track, but I gotta just give a quick story about Coach Williams. Just I know you're super close with him. I had like a working relationship with him when I was coaching. And I owe a big reason like that we're in North Dakota and like Melissa and I are married and stuff to him because I was when I was a GA at UCM, I was working an Under Armour tournament that he was recruiting at after he had gone to Furman. And he was there and we were just talking and I was like, I'm trying to figure out what to do, man. Like I got another year here, but like my girlfriend's moving to North Dakota and I kind of want to go with her. I don't really know what to do. And he just asked one question, bro. Like he literally just said, well, are you gonna marry her? And I was like, without a doubt, like this is the one. Like I want to marry her for sure. And he's like, why are you even asking then? You gotta go. And like that kind of solidified it to hear someone who was like doing what I thought I wanted to do and like kind of found the career path that was going the right way for him. And to just be like, dude, you'll figure out the rest of it, but you gotta go. Like that's the decision that you have to make was super like solidifying to me that like going was the right decision. So he's just like you said, an amazing dude, like really cares about the people that he knows and cares about. And like we didn't even have a great relationship at that point, but he really cared about like what my next step was.
Mm-hmm. He pours into people like and just it's always positive. It's always like I would say like great advice. And yeah, I mean look at it now. I mean it's
Exactly.
It all works out, man. It all happens for a reason. I was just gonna say that it's really crazy that they gave you like that much time, and like you said, like they didn't press you or anything. Like they made it, it's comfortable for you, and they let you just take your time because that's like so rare now. Like, and I see stories now on social media where it's like kids, get offers pulled, whatever, this, that, and the third. I mean, even when I was going through the whole recruiting process, I just remember like schools talking me up like, we want to have you out for an official. We want to have this, that, and the third. And all of a sudden next week, I'm like, man, I ain't heard from that coach in a week. Like, I'm gonna text him. I'm like, yo, coach, I'm ready to come on my official. Like, when y'all want to come have me out there? And just nothing. You share nothing back. And it's like last week, bro. Like you was wanting me to fly out there or whatever, Like, and now it changed up. So it's rare to find people like that for sure. And he's definitely a good one. Shout out Coach Williams for sure. But after that, your first year at North Greenville, you had a really good season, and y'all won the conference tournament, correct? And
yeah.
then you decided to transfer, and just take us through that process, and what that was like. Maybe what other schools you were looking at, and why did you want to come play with the big fella over at UCM, man?
Well, I just knew it was gonna be one of my best friends for life, so I just, God pushed me in the right direction. No, but I just this it was just so far from home, and like I can get along, and I was good, and I played really well, and we were good, and I just couldn't see myself there for more than a year. Like I just felt like it was time. And it was just like my parents came and watched me play, but they would have to fly out, and like that's costing so much money, and it's impossible for them to get to come, things like that. And I just
Yeah,
decided it was just time for a change. And I'll never forget, like that was one of the hardest conversations I've ever had in my life. Like trying to like telling Coach Williams that I was gonna leave was just like it was heartbreaking for me and that for him as well. Like we've talked about it, recently. Just I didn't know how to tell him. It was like breaking up with a girlfriend that you've been with for 5 years. It was like, but no, I mean, I was freshman of the year in the conference. Really good student. Played really well. So a lot of schools were, as soon as I hit it wasn't even a portal at the time. As soon as I got my release, like I had I had a couple MIAA schools. Northwest wanted me to come on a visit. Missouri Southern. I think those were like the top three. Them, UCM, and Northwest were like the top three in the league, and they all wanted me to come on visits. I went to Drury on a visit. They had won the national championship 1 or 2 years before. But no, I didn't want it to be this crazy thing where I'm flying. I'm still in school at this point. Like I'm not trying to go fly across the country every single weekend. Like I'm gonna find some coaches. I want to find some team that had success in the past. And Drury and UCM had like it was like one year the one won it, the next year the other one won it, and I was just like, let me check these out. And I went on a visit to both of them, and just decided like UCM, it was like 5 hours from home, which made it so much easier for family and things like that to be able to come to the game. So ultimately, and the facilities are, how they are, they're top notch for, Division II. They're better than so many Division I facilities. Um, and I had an opportunity, maybe Coach Williams called me after I committed to, I probably have told Cobb this before, but like he called me, I was on the golf course. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, hey, you signed with Central Missouri, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, are you sure you don't want to go Division I? Like, I have you an opportunity. I'm like, uh, no. What's the opportunity? And he was like, Murray, Kentucky is only 4 hours from Newark, Arkansas. And I'm like, Murray,
Mm.
Kentucky, like, and he's like, yeah, one of my best friends just got hired on staff as an assistant coach there, and I just didn't want to do that at that point. Like I just played 38 minutes a game, and I did not want to come to a place and have to sit out. Like I just, for
Yeah,
some
that was at
reason,
the time where you still had to sit out if you was in the portal, huh?
yeah. So if you go up at that point, you could go out of region D2 and be good, like I did. But if you went up, you had to sit out. So I just come from playing 38 minutes a game. We won a lot. I played a lot, got a lot of shots. I mean, like got to
Yeah.
be me.
You don't
The
want to go in
ideal
like
situation for Spencer Reeves right there.
Well, and then I was just
I
like,
wish I would have got that many shots at UCM.
and I tried to be very, I tried to be loyal in that situation because I'd already signed,
Yeah,
even though I found out that I could have backed out and went, anywhere else. But I mean, I think if I did the math correctly, I would have played 1 year with Ja. I mean, if I would have went there. So,
that'd been
yeah.
tough.
To the
But
league
I,
that
I
may have
would,
Probably
I
taken
could have
would,
him.
used some shooters to stake that floor too.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't change it. Like UCM was great. We're best friends. This is like family right here, and played a lot, had some success, had some failures, but learned a lot.
Definitely. I think that was the biggest thing about college. Like we never won necessarily as much as we should have, or we thought we should have at least, like as players, as me and you being like competitive and like hashing it out after the games, maybe at the apartment or whatever. Like, we always felt like we could have done more or whatever. And like, I mean, we had 2 20-win seasons like back to back, and like we felt like we should have gotten a bid. I mean,
Exactly.
but we didn't get one. So I mean, there's nothing we can do about that. Like, there was some games that we kind of blew for sure. Like
Yeah.
we definitely blew a couple like late that would have put us over the top. But hey, you live and you learn, man. Like I don't think I would change. Like I wouldn't take that experience for anything. Like you know what I mean. Like the relationships made, like me and you and all the other guys that I met there, and the coaches, DK, Coach Rich, Coach Johnson, like everybody, just being in a relationship with them and meeting them was a blessing in my life for sure. What was was it a little bit strange for you though? Like Coach Carl Skink comes from Tech, where he was recruiting you a little bit, right, and then goes to UCM, and he's not here to defend himself,
There's
but
nothing to defend.
but I mean, like, was that a little odd? Like, whenever he's reaching out, like wanting you so bad now, and it's like, man, like a year ago or whatever, like. But I mean, I feel like at the same time, it's like respect to you, like he probably was kind of like, hey, you proved me wrong, like respect, like you know what I mean,
Yeah,
like
yeah. And I'll say that. So, yeah, he called me a little bit when I was a senior in high school. I think I went to their like elite camp that summer before and
mm-hmm.
absolutely dominated. Dominated still, but nothing like it, just how it always was. For me, when it came to offers, like it was just you go there,
Feel you.
dominate. Maybe you get one, maybe maybe they say, hey, you're a good student, you might be able to just get your school. But no, Coach K was man enough when he picked me up for my visit to UCM. Like we're driving back from Kansas City, we had just eaten, and he looked at me and he was like, Spencer, thank you for coming. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I didn't think you were athletic enough to play Division II. And he's like, I was wrong. And I was just like, I can respect that. Like, I said, yeah, appreciate it. Like, everyone was, but you weren't the only guy.
Yeah,
So it was a little weird. I had more of a not not like what's the word I'm looking for? I didn't have more of a hold more of a grudge towards like a Harding who was in the same league as them. But it was like I thought I fit the mold for that perfectly, the way they played and shot, and they
definitely.
wanted to take thousands of threes again. Like
Right.
And then I didn't get recruited by them. So I kind of took that one more. So like when they called me after I transferred from North Greenville, like I didn't even like I answered
Didn't
was
even
just like,
consider it.
I
I mean,
mean, I
that's
didn't even,
local too. So
yeah, it was 45 minutes. Like they had enough time to like they had enough time to like they came to games. And one of my other best friends is like it was committed there at the time. And they they knew. I mean, like they if they didn't know, they came to tons of games, stuff like that.
yeah,
But every time I work like I work out at Harding a lot now. And every time I see Coach Morgan, who was the coach there at the time, or Coach Woods, who's still the assistant, like they just every time I see him, they're like, hey, the worst two. I saw Coach Morgan, and he was like, the worst two recruiting mistakes ever. He was like, you and Skylar Boland. He goes,
ooh,
I
those are
can
two
never
good
let,
ones.
yeah. He goes, I can never let that go.
I feel
And I was
like
Both
like,
BBL guys.
I feel like
I was
that's
like,
similar to SIUE just never calling you cop.
Yeah, I mean, I feel your pain because I still feel some type of way that one of the worst Division I schools in the country didn't think I was good enough to go play there, and then gets beat
well,
by the 12th best team in our conference by a Division II school in exhibition. Like, come on now.
maybe they don't offer, but like you feel like it's almost a formality at a point of like both my parents played Arkansas State,
Yeah,
that they just like have you on game, maybe even like
at least
if you
call
have
you. Like,
or a
dang.
walk on, like even anything. And it
Yeah,
was just it. And I will say this: Arkansas State's in a much better place than it was at that time. The guy there I know now, like Coach Bellato, is like he's good, and like he lets me use the facilities if I'm in Jonesboro and stuff like that. Like he's a good dude, and he just wasn't there at the time. And that's just how things go. But like you said, you wouldn't change it kind of for anything.
yeah. What's
What
it like?
what go ahead, comp. Go ahead.
What's it like growing up in like a basketball family like that? Like you just kind of mentioned it. Your dad and mom both played ball at Arkansas State, like, and then your brother now playing for the Los Angeles Lakers. Like what's that like? I mean, like me and Caleb, we have like a sports family, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's like strictly a basketball family in that
Yeah,
way. So how
yeah.
was that dynamic growing up?
I mean, it was super competitive because like when me and Austin were born, like my parents were still playing stuff. Like they were still, softball, volleyball, like co-ed, like they're playing on the same team, like
Yeah,
probably arguing and bickering. And like and you just like look up, dad was a 3-year starter at Arkansas State. Mom's played 2 years at Arkansas State and top, I think like 20, top 15 in scoring, like one of the highest career averages, but only played 2 years. So it was like it was like competitive. Like everything was like, hey, we're gonna try to fight. Me and Austin competed at everything, in fights, brawls. We're having to go to our room. We're having to
were you beating
apologize.
up Austin when he was 5'9",
Oh,
100 pounds?
yeah, this. I stopped beating up Austin probably when he was about a. I was
But
still kind of mean. I was still kind of mean when he was a sophomore and freshman, but like we weren't fighting then. We were, we'd argue and bicker and stuff. But once it got to high school, we kind of leveled out. But for the
me and
longest time,
Cobb were still going at it in high
he was
school, bro.
Yeah,
We were still
yeah,
going at
but we was like the same weight class though.
it. Right, that's
If
true.
you look at a picture of Spencer in high school and a picture of Austin in high
That's
school, they ain't
true.
in the same weight class
yeah,
for
That's
yeah.
true.
sure.
That's true.
Well, I would never, yeah, I would never be able to hit Austin. So like it was just like if we got into it, I'm
Like
just pinning
wrestling.
him on the ground. I'm pinning him on the
Yeah,
ground, and then it's like I'm like, you done? Because he was a twig back then. So
he's scrappy though
um,
too.
yeah, scrappy. Oh, he would try stuff. Like no doubt about it. He would try.
We always
Uh,
had very specific rules in our fights. There was like mostly no face punching was like the biggest one.
that's fair.
Until the one
That's
time
fair.
you punched me in the face, and then I had to drop you
Bro, no, hang on. Do we even need to
in the
talk
living
about
room.
the time
Had to
when
drop
you
buddy in the
sucker
living
punched me in
room.
the face, broke my nose, bro, in the car?
No, that was different. You punched me in the face first though,
And
and I
then
was
we'll get
driving.
into
And I hit him with
we'll
with
get
a
this
right
back on
jab.
track in a second.
Broke it.
But then there's the one time we're fighting, bro, and at this point, like it was pretty clear, like my athletic career was winding down, but Cobb had some potential to play at the next level, and we're starting to fight. And my dad, bro, direct quote, he'll try and argue it till the day he dies, but there's multiple witnesses. He says, "Y'all need to stop fighting." Caleb, I don't care if you get hurt, but don't hurt Jacob.
I don't think
Like,
he
all right.
said that though. I think he said y'all need to stop fighting. Caleb, don't hurt Jacob. I don't think he said, I don't care if you get hurt. I don't think that ever came out of his mouth.
Nah, hey, I'm with Cobb because I don't think old Bubba Love's saying
I don't
that.
think Bubba would say nothing that crazy.
That doesn't sound like him.
It may have just been misconstrued, you know. It
Yeah, yeah,
could have came across the wrong way, you know.
yeah. Well, and to like go back to your question, like growing up, my parents were the crazy sports parents. Like they were, I mean, it was every sport we played, it was like you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. Like not necessarily making us do extra work and stuff like that, but like when you played, it was like, hey, you did this wrong, you did this, like you need to do this better. And like it gradually grew better and better. Like they realized and they understood. And then at a certain point, like in high school, you're just like, hey, shut the hell up for 2 seconds. Like, stop.
Let me
But I
figure it
don't
out on
want
my own a little bit.
at this point, I don't want to hear it. Like, don't. And then they get to a point where they realize, like, you're at that age, like you figure stuff out on your own, like you said.
Yeah. You played a bunch of sports too in high school. Like you were like a state finisher, like second in state or something in like tennis, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
golf. Golf, you went to state as well.
Yeah, we finished second as a team in golf. I wasn't very good then. I just went, but we were
Pretty nice
okay.
now.
Like,
Nice now.
I play now for fun. I actually like it. Back then I didn't like it. Um, Tennis, yeah, I finished second. I honestly one of my biggest regrets in high school was not playing doubles with Austin because we probably could have won the state championship. I kind of did it more as a not a selfish thing, but like I kind of actually did it because I thought the team could win. Like we could win a team state championship off the points we could get. Because I knew I was going to be like, top four, top. I think I finished second my junior and senior year. Never could finish first because I'd always run into a country club kid that was lessons. I've never taken a lesson in my life. Like I just went out there and
You
hit
just
the
went out
ball
there
over
to
the net.
play.
It was just my hand-eye coordination, I guess, is pretty good.
Were your parents pushing you to play like basketball, or were they like just, hey, well, y'all can play whatever sports you want?
No, no,
Because
growing
I
up,
mean, I feel like, yeah, I just feel like our parents really was like, whatever y'all want to play, like,
yeah.
we'll give y'all an
Sure.
opportunity to do it.
Well, of course, like we started out, young playing soccer. You played t-ball, you played like, and then high
Yeah.
school came around, and I went to a small high school, so it was like do everything. I played football until I was in seventh grade. I just grew out of that because like we weren't good, and I didn't enjoy just getting smacked up on every game.
Right.
Like you just
You probably had no offensive. You played QB, right? You probably
I
had no
played
offensive line. I thought you played QB.
I would have been so like growing up. I played like fourth grade and stuff was like fullback, and we'd run like the the
You were
T offense. Like,
fullback,
it was
huh?
no, bro. It's like the T offense. Like you got three running backs. You never throw it. We just you do a lot of fake handoffs and end arounds, and so and then I moved to like tight end, and we never threw the ball. So I was so bored, like so bored. Then my best
Yeah,
friend at the
dog.
time, like, my best friend at the time got he got injured the last for the last two games, I think, of seventh grade. And I got back, he was like, "This means your quarterback now." I'm like, "Thank you." Like if we threw the ball, I was the one getting under center and throwing it anyway. So so
So they would switch
um
QBs if they wanted to make a passing play.
yeah, and that's how stupid the other team were because it would work. I'd just throw it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like you're scouting in seventh grade football.
Yeah, but if they brought me back there, like they're probably like, "Yeah, this man's not running. He's gonna throw it." We would move our
You was a big
quarterback.
body now.
We'd move our quarterback to like tight end, like right outside, maybe like slot, and then they should have known he just run straight down past everybody and just throw it past everybody, touchdown. So I played, and then I remember like it was yesterday. Me and my best friend Cole, we were sitting there. It was after basketball season, so basketball season had just finished for seventh grade. He goes, I hear the football coach yelling from the top of the gym, "Hey, whoever's going out for football in the fall, like up around the top of the gym, or run some laps. Like we're gonna start our postseason or off season." And I remember just sitting there like dribbling the ball, and I never like we didn't even. Me and Cole are just sitting there like, and he yells it again like, "Anybody playing football?" Blah, blah, blah. Nope, just kept shooting
Yeah,
little
we ain't
baskets.
playing.
He was like, "Since you would have been my junior high quarterback in eighth grade," and I was like, "Yeah, coach, I don't like it. I no BS. Like I would snap the ball a couple of times, turn around, and I get hit before I handed the ball off. Like that, I just couldn't.
Yeah,
I couldn't
no
do it.
line, bro.
I needed Jacob Morant or a tackle.
Yeah, you need to be hitting some drop sets, before you get right.
Facts.
Um, while we're on the family thing, before we get into like your pro experience and stuff like that, I was just wondering, like, I mean, when for me, like Caleb's my older brother, and like whenever I see him have success and stuff, like it makes me like feel proud for him and happy for him. Like, what's it like to see, Austin like growing up and like coming into the career that he's had, like now in the second year with the Lakers? Like, I mean, you maybe saw it coming, but like I feel like you probably didn't really see it coming whenever he was like a 5'10" freshman or whatever,
Yeah,
running PG.
well, yeah, you knew he was good. We knew he was going to be special. I tell you,
Yeah,
anytime anybody's ever asked me the question, like we knew he was going to be different. Like, could you say, "Oh, this man's going to the NBA"? No, but we actually talked about it. Like if he gets to 6'5" with a handle and puts in some work, like it's not outside the realm of possibility. And I just remember growing up and like he's like you said 5'10", 120, 130, getting hounded by dudes. We're always playing my junior and senior year, we always went and played like the best teams in the state. Like we would just try to schedule Jonesboroughs and see we're 2A, they're 6. Like we're playing all these higher divisions just to get ready for, to make a deep run. And you could just tell he's getting hounded by these guards, that are way stronger, way faster, and just never flinching, like never turning the ball over, never looking rattled. Like you could just tell. And yeah, just super proud of him. Like the journey was different than most of the guys that are in the NBA now because they go for youth, and it was just a finding a way for him to like play on a team that needs what he does. And like I said, it's always a lot of guys that played in the NBA. I've had NBA teammates here. You might have had a few yourself. Like it's not about like making the NBA. It's about like finding a way to stick. And hopefully he's doing things every
finding a
day that.
fit for sure.
Yeah, well, it's finding a fit, but like finding a way to stick in the team or having qualities that because all those guys that are in the league were probably the best players, best scorers on their team most of the times, and it's about
Yeah.
finding a place and like sticking in the NBA. So he's done a good job so far. Lakers are not doing very well at the moment. So hopefully they'll be able to turn it around.
Yeah, you're all about the hot takes on Twitter. I haven't seen actually as many of them this year, but I
I
feel
haven't
like
watched it. I haven't watched a single game.
yeah, I feel like last year I looked forward to every single time the Lakers played, seeing your tweets.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. My schedule last year was so cake that
Mhm.
we didn't like. My coach was all about, hey, be fresh, and I loved it. It was great. And this year we're practicing, more doubles, more practice. Like,
Got to get a little sleep.
More games too.
so I gotta, yeah, more games, like travel. We're going like last year we went day before to one game, and it was our 8-hour trip. This year it's like if it's three plus, we're going day before. And so then I don't even know when they play because they play so much and we're practicing so much and stuff like that. Like I'll check the box scores every morning, but I don't have any takes yet because I haven't been watching them.
We used to stay up to like 3 or 4 a.m. to watch Austin play at Oklahoma though. Every game. I
Yeah,
don't know if we like didn't miss a game whenever he was playing for Oklahoma, bro.
well, we were lucky. Like those few first years, like our schedules were,
We would have our morning stuff wouldn't be till like 11 at the earliest, I feel like, with
yeah. So
ISB. So like we could
and
stay up late.
it was nice because I feel like Oklahoma like always played it around like 2 a.m. mostly,
Yeah.
1 or 2 a.m. And that
Lakers
was,
be playing late on the West Coast.
yeah, every game's 4 a.m. here in
Hmm.
Germany. So I can't stay up and watch that. Like if they play an early Sunday game, I can watch, but for the most part, the only time they've done one of those, we were on the road, like so on the bus. So it's not ideal.
So you had a great career. Let's go back to your basketball now. In college, I mean, you had a good first year at North Greenville. You come to UCM for 3 years, and I think you probably led us in scoring every single year. Like I said, we had back-to-back 20-win seasons, I think, your junior and senior years. So, I mean, like, I mean, you did about as good as you could do in the best Division II conference in the country. And then after that, like, you want to go play professionally, like overseas, is the route that you're going to take. And maybe just talk a little bit about how you got over to Spain, where me and you ended up teaming back up my first year as well, and how that process happened, because I know it was a little bit of a tough thing and you ended up coming there a little bit late.
Yeah, it was another bumpy road. It was it kind of threw me back to like senior year of high school where I'm not getting recruited by anybody. And it's like I have good numbers. I we win. I show that I'm a mostly a good teammate. Like I can fit in any system and like I'm not gonna cause any problems. Um yeah, and it's just like I waited. I signed an agent kind of early. Um but I didn't have agents knocking down my door to sign me. So, I went with one I felt like gave me the best opportunity and it just didn't work out. So I stayed at home from, school ended in early May and I sat at home until it was like a 6 month off season. Like I sat at home until December. Finally decided to part ways with that guy and I'm calling like I've told y'all this before, like I'm calling everybody. I'm, anybody that can help me out when it comes to overseas basketball, agents, anybody, teams, guys that I know that are playing overseas, like maybe their agent can help me with anything. So, I got really lucky right around Christmas. I was actually going to play in the TBL here in the States, like this, like a semi-pro league. Like that was what I was in training camp and finally I get a hit. Um, from an agency that is having a guy get cut and it's my position and it was just crazy how fast it happened and it was like 3 days after I had fired my agent and signed like talked to this new guy. I had a deal in Spain, third division. It is a village middle of nowhere. And they're like, hey, we need you on a flight in 4 days. I'm having to, I have no idea where I'm going, who I'm going to be with, who my teammates are. They're, halfway through the season, no preseason to adjust. Like I just know I've been working for 6 months. So yeah, super, super lucky. And in this business, like you have to be lucky
Yeah.
in situations to like even to land a job. Cause if you don't play that first year, you're pretty much done for.
And then you go there and you had a pretty good season, like showing up late, obviously. And then, you decide to go back. Um, and I appreciate you because, you put in a good word for me and you helped get me there. And you also introduced me to both of our agent now, Drew Kelso with One Motive. So I appreciate you for that as well. But then what was that like for you for us to be able to like team back up again because for me, like I still look back on it and like I still have memories of it. And it's like one of the most fun, like experience that I've had, I feel like in my basketball career, just because it was like cool to get to play with somebody you're that close to, and you're that good of friends with. Like you finish college and you probably never like I never thought I would play with you again, play with any of the guys, that we played at
Yeah.
UCM. For us to be able to team back up for me, like I mean, it was like incredible for me. And to have the success we did.
Oh yeah, it was super cool. I mean, like honestly, I played really well the 4 or 5 months I was there, and I of course as a pro you want to like keep building steps to like go up and of course make better money, play in better leagues. Like you want to be able to prove yourself. And my agent at the time was just like, hey, we think you should resign. And I'm kind of questioning it, but at the same time I'm like, you just got me a job. I wanna you know if that's what you think is the best opportunity. And the GM, we got along really well, and he was just telling me kind of what we needed for the next year, and I'm like, an American big man. I'm like, I know one. I know one, and I had no idea it was gonna like end up being anything. And he's like, oh yeah, like send me his information, and I send him, and luckily they liked what they saw, and like it was so cool, to live with you and JP, and we got to see Spain together. Went to Madrid on our favorite break, like getting to live with like two of your best friends and then play on the same team. Like that's a dream come true. Like you'll never forget those memories that you made.
Definitely. And winning that cup game was probably the
Oh
highlight,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
I
for
think for
sure.
me that as far as us two playing together, that's probably like my best memory of us two playing together. I can't really
For
think of like my best memory of us playing at UCM together. Like I would have to think about it for a little bit, but I mean us playing together, period. Like UCM pros or anything. Like winning that cup game, the love the city showed. I mean, like and then
Mhm.
adding JP to the mix is like someone we're still really close with today. Like we talk every day in our group chat. Like that for sure tops it all. Like me and you playing together as a pair for sure.
For sure. Like you said, the cup game was out of this. Like it was so cool to bring it to like such a close knit village community that just love
Everybody
their
knows
basketball.
everybody there, it seems like too. So it's like everybody knew who you were walking down the street. Like I haven't had that experience since like when I went to Portugal or now in Romania. Like it's just not the same thing. Like they really like basketball there and they really like appreciated us, I feel like.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, now so you leave there, ISB, you go to second division in Spain. I had another solid year, of course, and then you go to second division Germany, have a solid year again, go to the playoffs, make a little bit of a run. And now like you're kind of where I feel like when we were talking about it, like when we were together in Spain, like this is probably where you wanted to be. Like
Mhm.
in the basketball Bundesliga in Germany with Bamberg. And I mean, how does that feel to kind of see some of these goals and like aspirations, like they're kind of coming to fruition for you right now, like right in front of you?
Yeah, I mean it's like you're working every day to like you see where you want to go, and like you have your people in your circle around that like believe in you and want to push you that way, but you also have a lot of people that's like telling you can't do it, or and how it's been, like I said, overlooked, the whole my whole career, basketball life, when it comes to what level can he play at. People told me I couldn't play in second division Spain, decent year. Had people tell me I couldn't play in second division Germany. I thought probably my best year as a pro, playoff run, Final Four. Um, and yeah, it's all about having a little bit of luck. And now, I would say the BBL is, top five, top seven league in the world domestically. And you can see it every night, and just how fun it is to compete against like really good talent. And yeah, it's like you set goals. Like I remember we probably had many of talks late night of just, hey, I want to be, German BBL in a few years, and finally making that happen. It's just it's just seeing it pay off is such a like a good feeling and rewarding.
Yeah, for sure. I remember because I mean, like now you got your German passport and stuff. So I remember like we were kind of having those conversations. I think that all started like 3 years ago or 4 years ago when we were in Spain, was like whenever you first started trying to figure it all out. So that finally came. And like for those people that don't know, like it's just big to have some kind of European citizenship, especially like in the country that you're playing in, because there's rules against you can only have a certain number of foreigners. Like for example, here in Romania, you can have six foreigners, and you have to play two Romanians in the first half and one in the second half. So like it just like it pays off in the long run for sure in a professional overseas like basketball career to have a citizenship other than just American, because you're just you gain a little bit of value for sure with that, because I'm sure a lot of people don't understand the
Yeah,
magnitude of
yeah.
that for somebody in our line of work.
Well, people don't
But
understand that, like, even in Spain, like, we could have me and you were the two
yeah.
Americans. Like,
Hmm.
they could only
And
have
like
two
JP, for
Americans.
example, is an American, but like he had the Jamaican passport. So I mean, that's the only reason why we were able to have three Americans, kind of finesse it a little bit there.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
but also another thing that I think is really neat that you get to do is playing in the Europe Cup now. Like for example, you got to go to like you got to jump in the Jordan River. Like that's an experience you wouldn't have had if you weren't playing in Europe Cup. You know what I mean? Like, and now you're going to get to see even more countries, mark them off the list. Like, something that I would love to do in my career would be to play in like a European competition like that, where you're traveling country to country. And how has that experience been for you so far?
It's super cool. It's different, because like we said, like, we were used to, like, last 4 years, it's one game a week mostly, maybe two every couple of months. And now it's like we play two games pretty much every week. We'll play our Europe Cup game in the middle of the week, and you're playing in different countries. Yeah, like you said, I got to go to Israel for the first time. Jump in the Jordan River, see the Sea of Galilee. Being a Christian, like, that was just a super cool experience. You're seeing different countries, marking them off the list. Um, yeah, and it's super good competition. Like, you're kind of getting to, and I hate to say this, but you're playing more games. Like, it's more fun. You're not practicing all
Not as
week to
much
get ready
practice.
for. Yeah, you're just call it how it is. Like, as a competitor, you want to play games, and yeah, you get to play different countries. You get more exposure to other places in case you want to go play somewhere else. Like, you can have a good game against a team, and maybe they want you the next season. Things like that. So it's super cool. I wish we would have qualified for Champions League. We had the opportunity to do that, fell a little short, but being able to play European competition is super cool.
we love game days. We love game days more than we love practice. We're human. Like I'm sure
That's how it
coaches
is.
want us to say maybe that we love practice, but they know the players love to play. So, and
They
especially
got to
coming from
understand that.
college, you play 2 games a week, and then you come overseas and you're playing 1 game a week. It's like, man, like I'm over here for 8 months and I'm playing 30 games. Like, why are we
Yeah,
playing 30 games in 8 months? Like in college, we were playing 30 games in what, like 4 months or something? Like, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that's one thing
exactly.
about overseas basketball. I feel like could honestly change. Like the seasons could be much shorter. They
It
really could.
could, but it's always been the same system, and it's always been kind of like how they do soccer. Like it's just you play
Yeah,
your domestic league games on the weekend, and you play your if you're lucky
true.
enough to play European competition, you play during the week, and that's just how it goes. And it's drug on, and yeah, I mean, we're not gonna change the system. I guess they could be a little smarter about it, but it's the way it is.
Caleb, what else you got? You got anything else?
I think two things. One, um, as far as international uniforms are concerned, you got you got one of my favorite ones that I've ever seen. The Freak City Johns are crazy. Talk to us about Freak City.
Crazy
What
for sure.
what is
Oh,
Freak City, bro?
yeah, when I get so, Bamberg is such a rich basketball community, and like, maybe the normal like basketball people know about Bamberg. Like PJ Tucker played here. They were winning EuroLeague titles, like they're winning the BBL every year. I think at one time they had like 4 or 5 guys that went on to play in the NBA after being in Bamberg. So like the tradition is super rich. They've won the league many times, won the cup many times. But just having like that logo and stuff is super cool. They call it Freak City because like the fans are it's you like Cobb said, when it comes to like that was a small community of people that knew who you were. Like almost every game here, and I think for 15, 20 years, every game was sold out, like 6,000 fans. Because Bamberg, they have like a third division, second division, maybe soccer team. I don't even, maybe third division, but like basketball is the thing. Um, and they just kind of like their fans got that nickname from, I have
Just
literally no
being
idea what
crazy
it,
and just going
just
Yeah,
wild and
being
just yeah,
crazy and wild
being
and very
freaks.
super passionate people. Like they're such good fans. Like we played, just an example, we played the other day in Rostock, which is up north top of Germany, is like 8 hours. We had like 100, 200 fans there. It
that's
was
sick.
eight. It
Wow.
was. I mean, like they bring a bus and come, and yeah, they're just it's the craziest, but it's so much cool the support that they give you. Yeah, so we just do they always like to mix jerseys up. So like we have our BBL Broza Bamberg jerseys, and then we have our Europe Cup, and they're Freak City jerseys. So they're just completely different.
Yeah, they're nasty too. They're fun.
Yeah, they're kind of good. Yeah, they are nice.
I guess the only other thing that I have that I kind of wanted you to touch on is recently married, obviously. Shout out Casey. Uh I think my invite got lost in the mail. I know it was a small ceremony, but I think my invite got lost in the mail. You didn't want
Cobb
to
didn't
show up
give
to
it to
my
you. Cobb didn't give it to you.
didn't want to
That's
show
on
up to
me.
my
That's on me. That's on
wedding.
me. My bad, Spence.
Didn't
That's
want
on
to
me.
show
I
up to my
forgot.
wedding and then didn't get the invite to yours. So that was interesting. I thought we were boys.
So
I really
this
did,
is getting
but
personal now. God
but
dang.
talk to me a little bit, just like what is the experience like now? Like obviously that's your partner now for life. Like a lot of these things that you're experiencing would probably be really, really, really cool to experience with your wife as well. Like what is it like kind of juggling your now new family with like playing overseas and kind of living out the dream still?
Yeah, it's cool. Like marriage it's so different. Like you like, you get married and it's like it's gonna be the exact same because we've known each other for 10, 11 years. Like it's gonna be, we've dated on and off, but like you think it's gonna be the exact same what it was. It was like as soon as we got married, got home from our honeymoon, like we lived together for the first time in our own place. Um, and then like when I left, it was super weird. When I first got here, it's like you're missing something. And like you had that when they're your girlfriend, but like once you get married, it's completely different. And yeah, she's finishing residency for pharmacy right now. She'll be done in June. It's just something she needed to do to take care of for future job opportunities whenever it's time to, hang the basketball shoes up for me and come back to the States. She actually comes in like I think 10 days or something like that. So she'll get to come visit for a week. Like I just send her all the pictures of Rome and London, and just she's so jealous. But it'll be super cool to have her here next year. Just to be able to do life together, and especially in a different country. Like a lot of people don't get to experience something that cool. And we'll be able to travel places. Like we'll be able to take FIBA breaks and go to wherever, we want to see. And yeah, that's my, like you said, partner for life. And yeah, ready for her to be here. Like it's just weird as your wife not being here is different, a little different from your girlfriend not being here.
Absolutely. And so that's the plan, is like once she's done with everything, like next year and in the future here, be with you overseas.
Yeah, she's planning on what she's gonna do, kind of like work wise next year. Even if it's like part time of her job back home, and just fly home every couple months, and keep her hours up and things like that. But yeah, she'll be here next year, which will be quite the experience. Like we'll be able to travel and
It's gonna be
just
sick.
oh for sure, for
So
sure,
sick.
and maybe have a little Spencer here in a few years,
Little Spencer,
like
you
like
you
like
better
what
you better get
like
on it,
what
man. I guess you guys better both get on it here soon. Like my second at least needs to have somebody to hang out with. The first you guys are already too late on, but the second needs to have someone here.
Man, if it wasn't for this career, I'd love to already have like three. Gosh.
I could see you as a dad already for sure.
Oh,
You
I'm honestly so like excited. I see kids and you just get like the baby fever and you're like, well, now that I'm married, like it's hopefully coming, God willing soon.
might as
And
well
you're just
get
like,
on it.
yeah, might as well. I think we'll probably take like, a year to ourselves, travel,
That's a
but
good
then
call.
time to start the family, man. Time to start the
Hey,
family.
the one thing that's gonna hurt you though is the PlayStation time, bro. I'm telling you, that's gonna hurt you.
Yeah, but this is her plan. If she does the part-time thing, don't tell her this. Like, don't tell her. But she does the part-time thing, like whenever she goes home every few months, like I'll have time for the video games.
Hop on this, hop on.
I'll be able to hop on the little thing. I'll have Willie here. It's like she won't take him back. I'll have him here. We'll be able to chill, but he don't care if I play video games. He's just
Hey,
cool.
Willie's a chill dog during the day, man. When I stayed at y'all's apartment this summer and I was like staying there, you were gone. You were already where were you at? You were already over here? No. You were like
No,
gone one day.
I went home for those last two, getting ready for
Yeah, and we were
yeah or
getting ready for
something.
the TBT, and like so sometimes I was at home with Willie. I was like taking care of him, and I was trying to play with this dude. This dude literally just wanted to lay down and sleep all
Nah,
day. He's chill.
he only wants to go outside and walk around and stuff. If it's not that, if it's inside, he's just laying there. He ain't doing nothing. He don't want to play.
All right, well, I think we covered almost everything. I don't really have much else. Like this podcast can honestly be like 4 hours if we had the time, but we don't
Right.
have the time for it. Like I could go
Stories
on and
and
on. Like I purposely like didn't really get into like that many stories at UCM and stuff just because I know like if we got off on that tangent, like we only have an hour here, so like we
Yeah,
wouldn't have
we'll have to
been
get
able
you
to
back
do
on
it.
here.
for
Yeah.
sure. We
Yeah,
need to do
you might have
another
to
one when
come
we
on. Yeah,
like a story time, a story
Right.
time.
maybe. Yeah, that honestly we really could. So let's do our draft. Like we had an idea. Y'all don't know Spencer Reeves, big huge Drake stan. Big fan of
Man,
Drake, Drizzy
couple
Drake,
concerts
and
I've been to. Yeah,
so we thought it was only right with the amount of hits that this man has put out, and with his recent album dropping, Her Loss with 21, that we're all three a big fan of. Um,
he's
we're
gonna
gonna
pay four
draft some.
million. He's gonna pay 4 million, and it doesn't even matter to Vogue.
We're gonna draft our favorite Drake songs here, and basically the way that we're gonna do it is we're gonna draft songs that we would like, maybe that 5 songs that we would start the playlist with if we was making a Drake only playlist. And this is my list, so if I pick anything that's y'all watching right now got a problem with, you can put it in the comments, but just know it's my list. It's Caleb's list. It's Spence's list. So this is what we
My
like.
list is gonna be gold, and if y'all say, "Oh, he should have had God's plan on there" or something like that, just miss me with all that. All right, I'm gonna write it
All right.
down on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I got my
I got to
paper
put it
out
down
too.
because I'm gonna forget stuff here soon.
And
And I
I
got
want
the
the people to
Spotify pulled up just
know.
to remind myself, just in case.
I want the people to know that I'm gonna win this. No chance, like
That's a lot of confidence. If y'all
Um,
didn't know, this is the most confident man I would say in America, but the man's not even in America no more. The most
He,
confident man that I've ever
I
met,
mean,
probably.
we're in my alley right now with Drake.
All
If
right,
this is
fair.
Juice WRLD, I'd say it's Cobb. We're,
My
we're
God.
talking Drake.
I
All
couldn't
right.
even name 5 Juice WRLD songs. I
Here's
couldn't.
what we'll do though, since we haven't had a guest on for the draft yet. We're gonna let our guests go first because we're gracious hosts. And then the second pick, I guess since Caleb picked first last draft, or no, I picked first last draft. So Caleb, you can have the second pick, and then I'll have third, and then we'll snake it back. So I'll have 2 picks, and it'll go back to you, and Spence, you'll have 2 picks. You know how snake draft works, right? Correct.
I
Yeah.
like old man in the 3, so I know.
Okay.
Shout out JJ
So
Redick. That's how I
Love
know.
old man in the 3.
Yeah, me
JJ.
too.
Hey,
so
shout out
Spence,
JJ Redick one time, bro. The truth.
Spence, the floor is yours. Number 1 overall pick in this
Okay.
Drake hit draft.
Okay. So I have made before an all-time Drake album. I remember we did this last year, Cobb. I don't know if you ever did it. We talked to JP about it, who's a big
Yeah,
music
we were
guy.
all talking about it.
I'm gonna go number 1, and it's just any moment you can listen to this song and it not just hit different because the beat is crazy. Do Not Disturb is my number 1 pick.
Do not disturb. Okay.
And it ends the album perfectly.
What album is that on even? There's
It's
so many. I
on
forget.
it's on his More Life album.
First pick? Okay. Do not disturb first pick. I mean, there's so many hits. I don't know if that's a first pick
Banger.
worthy. You probably could have got that in like the last pick. I wasn't gonna pick it. Caleb probably wasn't.
I was not either.
You could have got that
Am
in
I
the
next?
last pick.
Am I next? Is that right?
You're next,
We're not
yeah.
worried about it.
I mean, okay, so here's the thing. My song, I also feel like may not be on anyone else's list. Um, but it is my favorite Drake song, I think, or at least one that I go back to. Before it was an album, I used to listen to it on YouTube all the time. And that's 5 a.m. in Toronto, man. That song is the truth. Goes hard anytime. 5 a.m. in Toronto is the truth, and that's my number 1 pick for sure.
I like it. I mean, first off, there's not going to be a pick probably that I don't like because it is Drake and I don't miss. I mean, if we're really talking about it, but I like it. I like it.
Appreciate that. Appreciate it.
When I was thinking of like songs that I wanted to pick, I was like, what's one of the first Drake songs that I heard that I was like who is this? Like, man, he's really doing his thing. So I had to go back to Miss Me, Drake featuring Lil Wayne. When you hear that intro and he comes in, that's the one where he come in and talk about, tell me what's really going on. Drizzy back up in this thing already. What happened?
Look, I'll be honest with you.
On.
I'll be honest with you. Good pick. You'll be able to always go back and listen to it, but that part of Drake doesn't translate as well as like his. I'm not saying his most recent, but like you can always listen to it. But it's a good pick. Good pick.
It's a good pick. And I'm gonna go with another oldie, and then I'm gonna get off the oldies for my next pick. My second round pick, I'm going with Best I Ever Had. And one of the reasons I'm picking this is because Zach Lane and I, we used to DJ the radio station at the school, and that was like one of the only like bangers that we felt like they had, like we were able to play on the radio station at school. And so every morning, if we were DJing, like Best I Ever Had was in the rotation 100% of the time. And like I like the song. It's
anytime
a
you got to play
classic. I love
Drake,
the song.
you got to play Drake. So I mean,
That's a win. That's a win to be able to play Drake. Second round pick for me. Anyone who knows me knows that I really probably have 2 favorite artists. Drake being one of them, the other being quite possibly the GOAT, Jay-Z. So I'm going back to Nothing Was the Same, Pound Cake. Unbelievable song. You get Jay on there too, and it's cake, 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 cake. Yeah, give me that.
That's a great song, and JP would approve. Maybe
that's all that matters. There we go.
JP would for sure approve. Like that was his thing. Okay, so I got the next 2.
Yep.
Ooh, there's so many. I'm gonna go with Nothing Was the Same from Time, Drake and Janae Ike.
Fire.
That's
Fire.
the one where she's talking about what's up, been a minute
Yeah,
since we oh.
yeah. And I listened to that long Drake interview, and he said that like the album he was the most proud of, and like the one he felt like he did the best on was Nothing Was the Same. And if you look at it, like there are some
That's on that
That
songs,
came
album
out
is
in high school. The
insane,
album was
bro.
him.
That album is insane.
there are some songs on there that are crazy. Oh man, where do I go next? Where do I go next? Where do I go? Man, it's this ain't easy. This ain't easy because there's so many. Man, I gotta go with no, I can't go same album in two in a row. I don't think. I don't know that it's such a banger.
You
I'm
can.
gonna
You can.
I'll take it now because maybe I was like Caleb said, was listening to this. My boy Jacob Roark was showing this to me in like we were in ninth, 10th grade, going to like McDonald's, getting a little milkshake, driving through the city. He's showing it to me on YouTube. Marvin's Room, classic.
Oh, I didn't even think of that song, bro. What am
Like,
I
Bro, are you kidding?
doing? I could have picked that. I could have picked that with the third overall pick. I mean, that's I
you got to.
fumbled.
I
I
mean,
fumbled this whole
it's
draft
it's one of, if not his best song ever. I mean, it's up there
It will hit forever, bro.
forever.
Forever.
literally timeless,
Forever.
timeless.
Absolute. I don't know if you ever need to get sad boy hours, there's never a better song than that. Like
For sure.
Marvin's Room is crazy. For my next one, I'm going a little bit more workout vibes, a little bit of a banger. You hear that flute coming in right away to start it from the More Life album, Portland. My side chick got a 5S with a screen crack, still hit me back right away. Whew! Go crazy.
I mean, solid pick. I wouldn't say it's credible, but it's solid. Um, but me and my like Amir, who I went on the trip with, we were just talking, and we banged the album all the way, getting ready, and anytime we just wanted to hear it when we went out. Never did. Sad. London, Italy, boo on that one. But there's literally a Drake lyric for almost any part of like anything. Like there's always something clever to say. There's all, and you got all these rappers like they just mumble about nothing. And like Drake is always so clever, and it's all that's why he's so good, and he can do any type of whatever he wants to do. I mean, he can go make a club album like he did. Not everybody loved it. It wasn't great. I didn't just love it, but it's still like he
Got
just decided
respected.
if he wants to do if he tried to do a little bit of drill, like he can do anything he wants to do. So go. But
All right. So I'm gonna go a little more recent on this one. Probably one of my favorite Drake albums that he dropped last year, Certified Lover Boy. And a feature with one of my other like favorite artists of all time, probably Kid Cudi. I love the I Miss You Too, bro. I don't know. I love that song. It hits for me. I don't know why. It's probably not many people's favorites, but it's one of my favorite songs ever. So I got to put it in there. And then with my other pick, I'm gonna go back to the college days, and this song was my favorite song for a while from Views. Like Views was hitting while we were in college, bro. Like it came out my freshman year, and
crazy.
like I feel like we played that until we graduated. And I'm gonna go with one of my favorite Drake songs of all time, my favorite song period for like 4 years straight, and I'm gonna do "Keep the Family Close." Love it, love that song.
I think there was a London reference in that me and Amir kept singing the whole time we were in London. We're like, that song bangs. That the view, and then we started talking about how views banged, like crazy.
Okay, what was your third pick? I didn't write it down.
My third pick was Portland. Portland. I I'm looking through the album here because I know I can't in my right mind go through 5 song draft and not take a song from Take Care. So I'm trying to decide which one it is here. And I truly think it's gonna be The Real Her. And that may not be some people's favorite. It's got Lil
But
Wayne and Andre 3 Racks on it. I mean, it's a
Andre's
beauty.
verse is crazy.
Insane. insane. I love the
Started when I
song.
bought a whip, guaranteed the city you remember your whole name.
The
Star shit. Oh my
and I
gosh. When
also love
Andre
like
comes in, it's crazy.
if you're driving, bro, like the song is a good amount of time. Like that just takes up a good amount of time. I love it.
If you're on a long
It's
drive, that's
unbelievable.
definitely a good song
It
to
is
put
it
on and
is
sing along to.
unbelievable. It's nice. That means I got two again.
Yep, you
Last
got your
one, you better
last
make them
two.
good.
Last two
Last
picks.
two. I gotta do something nice. I'm looking through here because there's so many. Like I see one, I'm like, oh, that's it in the list, and then I see another one, I'm like, yeah. Um, I'm gonna go for my fourth pick. I'm gonna go. It's between two songs on the same album. If you're reading this, it's too late. Shout out North Greenville. I remember waking up one day and it was just like there. I'm gonna go with You and the Six.
You in the six?
You and the Six.
You raised me
Talking about his
right.
pops, talking about his pops and his mom. I mean, like talking about family. Like, just I feel like he was just spitting the whole time. And then where do I go with the last pick? Where do I go with the last pick? Um, man, man. I wish I'd have if I'd had more time to prepare, I would have came with like stats on y'all, like stats.
We like to do this unscripted, unprepared, no big boards.
Yeah,
No big
it's
boards
fair.
in this
It's fair.
draft.
And
I
then
had to.
we always end up like afterwards being like, ah, shoot, we missed something.
We missed something. We always do. Like I missed Marvin's room. Like for some reason, I didn't think of Marvin's room, bro. Like
Okay. I'm gonna go last pick, and I look at my list and I think, wow, my it's kind of like I guess I'm more of a slow Drake kind of guy. Like I can get into him, like, but it's more just a vibe for me. I'm gonna go off views, short song, but gets the point across. Fire and Desire. Like you don't hear him come in for like 20 seconds, and it's just pure gold.
decent
I
list,
think
might play better, but
the thing about slow Drake is like it hits at any time, right? Like there's certain like sometimes some of the upbeat stuff like you really got like you got to be trying to go a little bit, but like the chill Drake stuff can go at any point, any point.
Anytime.
I feel like my last pick, I might end up regretting it. I do want to take a song off a Certified Lover Boy, but both the songs I'm looking at fall within the same kind of criteria that I've already used.
Same,
Um,
same, same.
so
So
like
it's okay.
here's the thing, and it's I don't think Cobb picks either one of them necessarily. So I'm gonna talk through it right here. It's either Love All with Jay because it's another one with Jay and they both just hit, or it's 7 a.m. on Bridal Path and it's in the same kind of stage as like the 5 a.m. in Toronto. It's just like they
If
both
Drake
go
put a
crazy.
time in the if Drake put a time in the title, it's hidden.
It's a time and a place. Drake's going crazy on it. Promise.
He's going in. It's hidden. I promise you.
And
Right.
it's straight bars.
So I think I'm gonna go 7 a.m. on Bridal Path. Like I was just reading it. Anybody that can put Antetokounmpo in a verse, bro, like dub. I don't know how you do that. It's insane.
All right, so I guess I got the last pick of the draft. My fifth pick, another song that was my favorite song for a little while when I was in high school, and still hits to this day. I really don't listen to it a ton now, but when it comes on, I'm feeling it. And not everybody's favorite song off this album, but for some reason it was always mine, and that's "Take Care," Drake featuring Rihanna. I don't know, love it.
You did.
It,
That
Great
used to be
song.
your favorite
That
song,
used to be
like
my
peak
song, wasn't it?
favorite song.
I used to
Yeah,
it's
bump
it,
that 25
it's a
8.
vibe. It's a vibe though for sure. Like,
for sure.
and it's
I'll
so different
take
for at the time that it
care
came
of
out.
you.
At the time that it came out, it was such different. Like it was just like his whole Take Care album was just we'd not heard anything like it. Like it was just
Yeah. And you know,
because
whenever they
Drake
like
was at
switch,
the
you know,
time.
when they switch the beat in the middle of the Take Care song, I love
Yeah.
that part, bro. When he switched the whole beat,
Oh, yeah, I do too. Like when he like on a he did that and Take Care a lot. Like cameras slash good ones. Like
like
just
two
go to a
different songs
completely
basically
different.
in one.
Yeah,
So
complete
so
different song.
so when I was making my last pick, or not, was it my last pick or no? It was my. It was. I was my fourth pick. It was between You and the Six and Star 67 with him and Wayne. Great song. JP would approve of that one too. That was his thing. That was his song. But man, whew, Drake's him. He's him.
I mean,
I
I
think,
just feel like we put 15 songs on here, and like
and I feel
we
like
didn't even
I
touch what we could
disrespected
have
so
put on
many.
there. Like we didn't even touch the surface of what could be
No,
on here.
no. Well, and it just depends on what day, what your
Right.
mood is.
Exactly.
For
And
Exactly.
sure. What's your favorite song off his new album? If you've listened to it enough to have a favorite, I haven't really listened to it enough, but I know you probably have had it on repeat.
well, I can't like match the title with the songs because we're just kind of putting it on and like letting it run right
Yeah, I
now.
do the same thing. Yeah, you just hear it in the
But
background.
Circo Loco is crazy. The
I don't even
beat,
remember.
the beat is crazy. I mean, just turn it on and you'll be like, you just start
Yeah,
going. You just start going with it. And
Still good.
he just spits. Like it's all he does. And then when I was honestly disappointed, and honestly, I don't love 21 Savage by any means.
Nah, not a huge fan. Don't love him.
I saw 3 a.m. on Glenwood. I'm like, oh, Drake is, and it's 21 Savage, and I actually really enjoyed it. Like he slowed it down and spit some bars, and it wasn't just normal 21. And I was
21,
I
21,
was
21, 21.
I was deeply disappointed that it wasn't Drake with the timestamp, but
but it still hit.
well, I'm surprised that he didn't put "Do Not Disturb" 7 a.m. in Germany. Can't believe that they heard me. So, I mean, he wherever he want to be.
You know what's crazy is I was thinking like, man, this album's pretty good, but the Drake and Future collab album might have been better, bro. What you think?
I don't know. There are some
There's
bars.
more bars in this one, right? Like this one, I feel like when I listened to it the first time through, I was just sitting there like this, like just
Yeah,
vibing, head bobbing the whole time.
for
But
sure.
I feel like, oh my gosh, why am I stupid? I can't even think of the name of the album. But whenever Drake and Future dropped "What a Time to Be
Uh,
Alive," there were so
yeah,
many like singable songs like that you can sing along with, and like if you're with like the boys, you're turning up to it.
for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
This is the way I think of it. I don't know how you are now, but like me, I definitely was into music more then.
Oh, definitely,
So
Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
definitely.
like I think if they dropped at the same time, I think I would like this one better because it's just like the words he's like what he's saying and stuff is just, and you know how Future is, like honestly Future don't just spit bars crazy, like he's a decent, but
He was
he ain't
going
He
though
going
on this album.
crazy.
He held his own with Drake. Like I feel like if you're gonna do a collab album with like someone who's one of the greatest talents of our generation, like I mean, you got to hold your own, and he really did, just the same way that Future did.
no,
But
for
I mean,
sure, for sure.
Future's another one of the greats, though.
But Drake, I mean Drake definitely carried this album though, like,
For sure, for sure.
and it's
100%.
mostly Drake. I mean, like it's mostly Drake.
Yeah,
Like
like it's Drake featuring 21. Like
yeah, pretty much.
it's
But
not, yeah.
they just decided to do one together, like
Right.
together.
Right.
Um, but I need to listen to it more. But Circo Loco, boys, put that thing on, and you'll be like, hey,
That's the
I'll
one.
be
on the way
feeling
to
it.
your workouts, you're gonna be like, man, I'm gonna get these kids better. I'm
All
gonna get
right.
these.
All right. I'm
All
gonna have to
right,
have to.
Caleb, you want to sign us out then? If you don't got anything else, since you got to get going.
Uh that's all I got. Yeah, sorry, I got to bounce. So we appreciate you having on. We appreciate you being on with us, Spence. Definitely have to have you on again here soon. I don't think that this even came close to covering everything that could possibly be covered. So we appreciate you being on with us. I'll hop on the sticks here soon. I got to get a PS5 so I can bust you in 2K.
Man,
We're not
bro,
talking basketball
You're not like
2K. We're
that.
talking PGA
You're
2K.
not like that. You're not that
he
guy,
ain't got.
Kyle.
Hey, tell him get a
He can't even
teammate.
be. He can't even beat me, bro. So like,
Dude,
how you
you're
gonna beat
Cobb.
Spence?
I've never seen you play, but I know you're trash. I just
I've
Cobb's
know
never
not.
seen
you are.
you play either,
Cobb's
and I
not
know you're
bad.
trash.
Cobb's
I
not
know
bad.
you're
Now.
trash, bro.
He's not
I
bad.
know you're trash, Cobb. I just know.
But boys, no, appreciate y'all having me.
I'll get a
And,
PS5. Yeah, for sure, man. For
like we
sure.
got to
We
do it
appreciate you
again
coming
where
on.
we just chop it up. Like that would be
absolutely,
a lot of fun.
absolutely. It's good to see you, brother. We
Of course, my
appreciate it.
guy. Yeah.
Peace.
Thanks for coming on, my guy.